Well, on to this. We're just hours away from President Trump's highly anticipated summit with President Xi in Beijing. The two leaders expected to cover a wide range of major issues, including the conflict with Iran, trade relations, tariffs, and China's stance on Taiwan.
The president posting on Truth Social today, quote, "I will be asking President Xi, a leader of extraordinary distinction, to open up China so that these brilliant people can work their magic and help bring the People's Republic to an even higher level. In fact, I promise that when we are together, which will be in a matter of hours, I will make that my very first request." Joining us now is Hoover Institution Senior Fellow Victor Davis Hanson. It is great to have you. And I'm wondering if the possibility, I mean, I believe the president when he says that's what he's going to say to Xi, but the possibility of a communist country opening up its economy, even if it would be in their best interest, to me, is like saying, oh, we're going to turn this regime in Iran, we're going to all of a sudden flip a switch and make them adopt democracy. Like, it just doesn't work like that in practice.
No, it doesn't, unfortunately, because when you say it's in their interest, what you're inferring is it's not in the interests of the unelected autocracy that runs the communist country. The only interest is the people, and they have no power. So these regimes never change willingly, as we saw with the fall of the Berlin Wall and the collapse of the Warsaw Pact, and 2 years later, the end of the Soviet Union, they collapse. And we're seeing that in Cuba, but they don't do it voluntarily, almost never. It's almost impossible.
Victor, you know, I think about China a lot in relation to Russia and how we deal with China versus how we dealt with Russia during the Cold War. And, you know, today we're talking about, well, should we do a chip deal with China? Or how many of their students are going to come here and study? There's a lot of intercourse with, I would say, at the very least, our greatest adversary, if not enemy. We didn't have that with the Soviets. And I wonder if you think it's the right course, or if you think we might be going astray here.
I think it's the wrong course. I think it's exactly the opposite. We didn't have Russian students here. We didn't have exchange programs. I think the president should just go to China and say, we want parity. For every student that's in the United States, from the United States that's in China, you'll have one student here in the United States. So for every acre you want to buy here, we'll buy an acre of land in China. For every farm you want next to a military base, we'd like a military base in China, a farmland near it. And just say, let's just get an arbitrary figure. Let's have 20,000 students here in the United States and China. We'll have 20,000 Americans. How's that? Just make it even. And I think that they would be shocked at that, because the present situation is so asymmetrical and in their favor.
Yeah. We're watching video next to you right now of the president's arrival in Beijing, and it was, you know, a lot of pomp and circumstance. You know, dignitaries came to meet him. You had those kids standing there with their flags. They were saying welcome in Mandarin. It was big. It was exactly the way Trump would want it. My feeling is that Xi knows that, so he kind of gave that to him. But there are going to be a lot of issues that are tense to discuss: tariffs, farmland in this country, buying our farm products, Taiwan on the table, this whole Iranian issue. Your thoughts on what can possibly be accomplished? Do you think both men show diplomacy towards each other and maintain that good relationship, as Trump always says, but that something tangible happens?
I don't know, but I hope he understands, I think he does, that we have leverage, that China was getting, for years, cheap oil from Venezuela and Iran, and that's out. They lost their whole attempt to have a Western Hemisphere presence. They lost Venezuela. They're on the run in Panama. We've rectified that situation. They have no hold in the Middle East, nor does Russia. Their weapon system, their air defenses were shown to be inadequate in the defense for the Iranians. They didn't help them at all. They must be very terrified of the way war is now, with drones on the surface of the water, beneath the surface, in the sky, when they might envision a 110-mile amphibious assault across the South China Sea to Taiwan. That seems much more difficult given the turn of war, and especially the impressive performance of the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Air Force in this conflict. So I don't think they're in a strong position as they think they are. Things have changed since the last time Trump and Xi talked.